So let me ask you a question. When was the last time you ignored the front doorbell or a knock at the door? From a really early age, our dogs quickly associate this sound with us getting up. We rush to the front doorbell. It's not a sound that we ignore very well. We're excited by it. Usually there's something good happening when somebody comes to our front door. So it doesn't take very long for our dogs to understand that the doorbell is a really important event. They quickly learn that somebody might be at the front door that's come to visit us, or that maybe we're having a delivery or somebody has arrived. It's probably one of the things that as dog owners we're the most consistent about, really, because we just don't find it easy to ignore that event. When somebody has arrived, we're quickly out of our chairs, we rush off to the front door and we see who it is and why they're coming. So depending on our dog's personality will depend on how our dogs really interpret this event, whether they think this is a good thing or a bad thing. So if your dog's a very sociable dog, they love people, they love spending time with people, they're very chilled in the house, then somebody coming to the front door for them is going to be really exciting. They're going to be very happy to have somebody arriving at the door. They're going to run to the door and they're going to be looking for attention from the visitor. And it will probably be a little bit disappointing for them when it turns out just to be a delivery guy. If your dog is more of a guarder, or if they're a bit more stressed about their territory, maybe they're quite noise reactive, maybe they don't like people coming in and out, maybe they're suspicious of strangers, then actually for them, the doorbell or a knock at the door is going to have a different meaning for them. So then it's going to trigger those kind of responses, the guarding and protecting type responses. So they're not going to be rushing to the front door excited to meet a new person. They're really more interested in trying to guard your front door, trying to see who's coming in, make sure that they're a safe person to come to the door. And they'll probably feel quite relieved when the Amazon delivery man drops off his parcel and leaves, because they've avoided a confrontation with somebody that they're not so sure about. So depending on your dog's personality, they could be very excited and very happy to see somebody arriving, or this could be a really stressful event. There'd be a third kind of dog who takes this all in their stride. They're okay either way, they're fine. And if that's your dog, you're probably not listening to this video, because for everybody else, their dog's behaviour has become a little bit extreme. And you're looking for some kind of help to kind of get that sorted and get your dog to be a bit more calmer when people come in. So this is the time for you to stop being consistent. As a behaviourist and a trainer, I constantly drum into people, we must be consistent so our dogs know what to expect. But our consistency is what's let us down here, because our dogs know exactly what to expect. The doorbell and the knock at the door triggers a reaction from you, from anybody in the house. So the first thing we want to do is try and stop that from happening. So if you're one of those lucky people that has a doorbell you can ring from inside the house, or maybe your dog has learned to associate any kind of doorbell sound with somebody coming to the door. Maybe they're triggered by a doorbell on the TV. If that's the case, then you can download a sound onto your phone and you can activate this from anywhere in the house at any time using your phone. Ring doorbells are great for this because you can just test that doorbell sound at any time of the day, and your dog will react to the sound of the doorbell. But you don't have to leave the house, you don't have to go around to the front, you don't have to knock on the door, you don't have to ring your own doorbell. So if you've got a doorbell that you can detach or bring into the house, or you find another way to activate that sound, then this is going to be great for you, because now you can start being very inconsistent about when you respond to the sound at the doorbell. So up until now, your dog has had 100% success rate. When you're in, the doorbell gets rung or knocked. If you hear it, you're going to go to the door and you're going to go and see what's happening. But now what you can do is you can change that to maybe a 10 or 20% success rate. So you can be ringing your doorbell all day long and not paying any attention to it at all. You can ring your doorbell when you open the dishwasher. You can do it when you're loading washing, when you're watching TV, while you're on the loo. You can do it while you're just walking from one room to another, halfway through putting your shoes on. You can find lots of different times of the day that you can be making that doorbell sound, but you're ignoring it this time. So your dog will have to start questioning whether the doorbell ever actually was an indication that somebody was coming to the door in the first place. Because when you go to a 1 in 5, that basically means 80% of the time, nobody responds to the doorbell at all. And of course, at first, your dog has been drilled into this reaction over and over and over again. So you're not going to fix this in a day. But if you can keep this going for long enough, your dog will start to realize that actually the doorbell does not mean that somebody has come to the door. In your home, of course, your dog might not just associate the doorbell with people coming to the door. I remember working with a family who the lady of the family would fluff her cushions 5 minutes before a visitor would come. So that was the dog's trigger. He'd learned to associate that with people coming to the front door. Maybe you have a trigger word. Maybe you go, Uncle Pete is on the way. And when you make that face and you do those air quotes and you talk like that, your dog is not being fooled into realizing that somebody isn't coming. They know exactly what's happening, and a few minutes later he shows up at the front door. Maybe you put the hoover around the house. Maybe a car door slams in the street. Maybe it's the gate squeaking. So there'll be lots of other triggers as well, but the doorbell will be the strongest one of all, because all of those other things could happen at a different time, but the doorbell always does get that response. So think about your routine. Think about what other things triggers your dog to think somebody might be at your front door. You may be surprised by some of your behaviors that he's associated and connected to front door behavior. So start to incorporate those into your routines, and don't associate them with people coming. If you're a cushion fluffer before people arrive, start doing it at random times of the day, and do it often as well. The more often you do it, the quicker this process will be over, the quicker he'll be able to realize that what he previously connected to front doorbell triggers actually turned out to not be correct. And the other thing is, go slow. Whenever we answer our front door because we're excited, we get out of our chair really quickly. We don't hesitate. We head straight for the front door. We walk fast. We're in a hurry. We don't want to keep anybody waiting. But if you know there's a visitor there that you're expecting, you can tell them in advance, you know, that you're not going to be very quick. You're training your dog. You're trying to slow everything down. And those two things alone could make all the difference to your front door. So try to help your dog disconnect the sound of the trigger of the doorbell, of a knock at the door, any other kinds of behaviors they might have connected to somebody's arriving at the house, and go slow and stay calm. Those two things will make a massive difference. Then you can start introducing things like a sit stay at the end of the hall, but address that kind of initial overexcitement first. Hope that helps. Take care for now. Bye bye.